And let's try this. Ooh, lightsaber. Welcome VR lovers and SideQuest fans. My name is Tony and today we're going to look at a game called The Master of Arms. This is a demo you can get sideloading for free from the SideQuest store. But before I go any further, make sure you check out my channel. It has a ton of Oculus Quest videos, including a guide on how to install SideQuest and sideload games. I do weekly videos capturing all the Oculus Quest news for that week. The latest video is up for the 26th of Jan, so make sure you check that out. And if you want to be kept up to date with all the Oculus Quest news, subscribe and like. So let's input my name. Now this keyboard's very sensitive, so you have to be very quick on it, otherwise it doubles up like that. And there's no space, so I'm going to have it as one word. There we go. Alright, so we've got a few modes here, training, tutorial. I've done a tutorial, so I'm going to go straight into beta and just jump into the action and show you what this game is about. So you're in like this holodeck type of room. We have a scoreboard there. We have some options to retry or go back home. And we have to grab these swords to begin. As you can see, the models look great. So let's pick these up and get straight into it. So these shapes come up. You have to align the laser pointer onto the shape and then you just basically chuck the sword and it will do its thing. Now each weapon, there are a few weapons, has its own little function and I'll show you the different weapons as we go. Now I've got these swords coming at me and these are obviously you've got to dodge these because these take down your health. You can see my health bar up top and you can actually, if you're good enough, dodge and grab these swords as they come in. Now what I'm going to do, if you can't grab these swords, you can hold down the trigger buttons and the X or Y button and you cycle through the weapons. So I'm going to bring up a shield right here and show you the shield. This obviously blocks the incoming projectiles, but after a while it does break. If you let it go, it rotates on its own and can block projectiles incoming. You also got this shuriken here. If I line it up and chuck it, you might be able to see it in action. No, okay. Well, the shuriken explodes, so unlike the other weapons, when it hits the obstacle, it explodes and presumably does some extra damage and area of effect damage as well. So, alright, to show you, this is the homing sword. I think this is by far my favourite because it has some homing ability. So I'll show you, I'll chuck it like this and then it will lock on and sort of follow the shape and hit it. Some of the weapons, I think they need a bit more work on them because yeah, they're not that great. They hardly ever hit their targets. That homing sword, however, works well. But I presume the author is going to has more work to do on the game, and obviously needs to balance these different things. So, as you can see, it's getting a lot harder. The shapes are moving, and now the swords are flying in at me, and it is quite difficult. I can knock swords aside with my weapon, but again, it does break after time. So yeah, so game over. I didn't last that long. So let's have another game. I'll try and show you more aspects of the game. So just a comment on the sounds and the music. Yeah, the music's great. I mean, there aren't many sound effects or soundtracks at the moment. It is alpha version, but the music choice is very good for this type of game. Very action orientated. So I'm going to bring up weapons, as you see. I hold down this trigger and XY buttons, and over time the weapons slowly cycle. And then I just release it when I want the weapon that I want, and it comes up. So I'm going to show you the spear. You hold on with the laser point, you chuck it like any other weapon, and with the spear you see it shoots a few times to try and hit the target. Like I say, a lot of the weapons, they don't hit the target often, I find, personally. The homing sword is the only one that really hits the targets most of the time. But like I said, it's still early phases, so I'm sure there's lots of tweaking and balancing to do. Okay, I'm not doing so bad at the moment. So look, it is a challenging game. It does ramp up the difficulty very quickly, and so you need a lot of practice to get quite far. I think the furthest I've got is about just over 3 minutes. So you see I'm generating homing swords, which is the first on the weapon selection, because these, like I said, work best. And they home into the target and they do it quite well. The others not so great. Now, this is where it gets hard. And so you definitely need this shield weapon in combination with the homing sword. I think that's the best combination of weapons to get you the furthest. At least that's what I found through my brief time playing. So my shield's broken now, so I'm gonna have to generate a new one. And it's getting pretty crazy now. The game itself, it's a lot of fun, you know, it's quite polished. I like a lot of the models, they look really good. And there's a lot of unique concepts in here. Yes, it's a wave shooter, and we've seen a few of those, but it's a different wave shooter. I've never seen anything like this, and I like the fact you can do some really cool things, such as grab some of the incoming weapons and chuck them back at the shapes and things. Now, I would say it gets too hard too quick. I mean, these swords coming at me now are homing swords, so I'm trying to dodge these, and it's incredibly difficult. So I need a shield, or I need a bigger room to be able to like sidestep them more effectively. Now, I know this is alpha version, and there's probably a lot to come, but it'd be good to see, you know, more interesting and luscious environments. It'd be good to maybe, instead of shapes, having other sort of enemies to fight, you know, monsters, dragons, that sort of thing. That'd be really cool, I think. And like I said, a few gameplay tweaks here and there with difficulty, and also with the effectiveness of some weapons. But, you know, as it is, it's a really enjoyable little demo. And there's actually a training section as well, which I'll show you a bit later, which has some interesting weapons. Some of them don't work yet. I think they're just, at the moment, just concepts that will work at some point. But definitely worth downloading this one, giving it a go. I've had quite a bit of fun with this. It's definitely a challenging game, and it's fun to see how long you can last. Now, I don't think I'm going to last much longer, having said that. But this is probably the furthest I've got. I've never seen these shapes before. Alright, I think I hit that one, so it must take multiple hits. Ah, there we go, yeah. So, yeah, I think that's the furthest I got, 3 minutes 27. Oh, look, part of the floor is also moved away. I'm not sure that was supposed to happen, or is that makes it more difficult, so you have less platform to move around on as you progress. Not that it's not difficult enough already. Alright, so let's check out the training room. So I'm in the training room, looks very similar to the other room there. We have a few shapes to practice techniques on. We also have a rack of weapons to our back here, and a few new ones that aren't in the alpha or beta version of the game. So let's try this. It's like, there we go, let's get rid of that. So let's try this. It's like a hook shot. That's what it reminds me of. So you shoot it at the shape, and it sort of tethers it. I think that's a neat idea. You can tether it, and it makes it easier to hit using another weapon. So let's try that out. Alright. Okay, that didn't work as I expected. Let's try these other weapons. Alright, this one here. Let's see, it's a... I don't know what kind of weapon it is, but it doesn't have the same laser thing, so I'm not sure if this weapon actually works at all. No, it might be just the concept at the moment. That's what I was saying earlier. There's some weapons in here that I think the author wants to add probably at some point, but are not quite functioning yet. And let's try this. Ooh, lightsaber. Nice little touch there. I can't wait to see that one working in-game. So remember to check this game out. Also, always support, you know, SideQuest and the authors if you like your experience and you want to see more of it. Do check out my channel if you want to keep up to date with all the Oculus Quest news for the week, and I'll catch you next time.